On the care economy and productivity, the Treasurer has spoken broadly about the need to differentiate between private and public sector jobs, market and non-market jobs. Can you confirm that non-market versus market jobs is an ABS metric?
ABS metric? Yeah. Yes, we've got the market versus non-market from the ABS Labor account. Yep.
It is?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have a clear figure in the Treasury on how many government-funded or non-market jobs have contributed to the labour market in the last year?
So the number of government...
The government jobs or non-market jobs?
Well, not all government, are they, in the non-market?
Well, how do you break it down?
So non-market will include care economy, education, public administration.
Okay, so that's all under one bucket?
Under non-market, yes.
Okay, well, can you confirm how many government-funded jobs contributed to the labour market in the last year?
No, I don't think I can.
You don't collect that information?
That's why they're broken into market and non-market.
Okay, but wouldn't it be a useful breakdown?
For what?
It's good to know how many jobs the taxpayer is propping up, and good to know how many jobs the market is propping up.
Well, so non-market is government funded, is that right?
No, sorry. Adam Chiarini, First Assistant Secretary, Macro Conditions and Population Division. The ABS don't publish it on a funding basis. They'll do it as private and public jobs, and they'll also do a market, non-market split. But on those jobs in the non-market sector, they do not provide information around which of those jobs are funded by government.
So what's the definition of non-market then?
Non-market are three sectors in the economy, so it's in particular public administration, safety, education and training, as well as healthcare and social assistance.
So they're roles that are supported by government funding.
They're predominantly government.
Yes, we've got nods coming from the desk.
They're considered non-market because they're predominantly government.
They're reliant on government funding.
So they're not good jobs, is that right?
So the jobs wouldn't exist without government funding, is that right?
Not all of them. So there are some, for instance, in some of this stuff, like in education, there'll be private help, there'll be private schools, employment in private schools in that, for example.
Okay. So how many government jobs have been created in the last year?
Government
across the country, because it's reporting employment across the country, as you'd understand.
So in terms of 1.2%. In terms of public jobs, it's to the September quarter 2024, it's about 1.2% growth over the year. And
of a proportion of overall employment growth?
As a proportion, so private was 1.8% growth.
40%
so about in terms of shares, about 40% is public.
40% is public?
Yep.
Okay, so 40% of the employment growth in the last year, you're saying, is government-funded jobs?
40% represents the public, well, how the ABS defines public, yeah.
Which is separate from how you just define non-market?
That's correct. Right, yeah.
So to use your non-market definition, how big would that be?
Non-market would be 83%.
83%?
Yep.
So 83% of the employment growth in the last year, non-market jobs?
Yes.
Wowzers. Okay. Does that concern you?
So I think we've seen for a number of years there's shortages in the care economy and those related ones. So this is it looks like a recalibration that's coming through.
Okay. Just to be clear, the definition of non-market is largely government supported.
Non-market includes education and training, healthcare, social assistance, as well as public administration and safety. So it'll be all those three.
Okay, so is it a true to label non-market? They're not market jobs; they exist because of public subsidisation.
Sorry, I missed that question. Sorry, Senator.
Sorry. So is it a true to label sticker in the sense that these roles wouldn't exist in the market without some sort of government substitution or subsidisation? That's why you call them non-market jobs. Is that right?
So they're certainly jobs that are supported by by government provision, by government support. However, it would depend on the nature of those entities, the businesses, how they interact. So some non-market provision can still be coming through a non-supported position, like my colleague said before.
Okay. So was it 83%?
Last question.
Was it 83%? You said
Yes, that's right. That was the share of
83%
growth in
of new jobs and non-market jobs in Australia. Okay. How does that impact productivity?
So I think when we look at productivity in the non-market sector or the service sector is very difficult to estimate. So what we would tend to do is you can separate them out to look at market sector versus non-market sector. So if we just look at the market sector, productivity is higher. And then we've also got some other things that will drag on market sector productivity, such as the mining sector. So, but yeah, the non-market sector is very difficult to measure. I think we talked about that like the last set of estimates.
Does it drive it down?
So it would pull down total productivity. Yes,
It would.
it would, just because it's the way it's measured, because there's measurement problems. I think I may have mentioned last time the Productivity Commission did do some analysis looking at the productivity. It's really hard to measure quality improvements and other things in the sector, in the non-market sector. So there are measurement challenges.
Thank you. I'll
Scary
share
numbers.
the call. We're
Why
in.
are they these are good, secure jobs for people across the community, in aged care, in hospitals, in early education and care. I mean, these are areas
What it's
that.
telling you is that the government is propping up the labour market. That's
So
what it tells you.
are you suggesting that we shouldn't be
we want the private
subsidising early
economy to be
education
driving.
and
We want
care,
small business and the
or,
private economy to create
or the
create jobs.
healthcare system?
Well, you hate
or
small
the
business, so you've
aged
killed
care?
small business and
Well,
replaced it with
that's
big
not
government.
true.
You hate small business, you always have. And you've replaced it with big government jobs.
When did you
I'm
run a
not
business,
true.
Andrew?
80
Okay,
years
order,
of government jobs.
order,
No,
order.
that is not true.
Order.
We have resourced the public
You're always
sector.
that personal.
Order.
When did you make
Okay.
your last mass statement in?
How many
right.
houses have you got?
Okay.
Daughter of an immigrant.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 7.
Thank you. I think the Minister was seeking to conclude an answer in relation to your last block of questions. Have you concluded, Minister?
Well, I just want to make the point that the kind of disdain that the opposition is showing towards non-market employment is regrettable, because those jobs are good jobs. We need people in those jobs. When you're looking after your grandmother in aged care, you will want the right level of staffing in those centres so that your grandmother can get adequate care. So, I mean, there's a bit of snobbery, I think, towards the service sector and towards the care economy. But we, through our policies, have supported jobs in that sector because we know that people want to be cared for properly, whether it's a young child or an older Australian,
Would you prefer
or
private
someone
sector
who
growth, though?
needs... Well, excuse me, Senator Hume, you've
would
had
you
enough
prefer
time this morning. Or whether
Would it
it's
be better to
somebody
have
who
private
needs
sector
care
growth?
through the healthcare system.
But it'd be better for the economy to have private
and-
sector growth, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm not going to respond to Senator Hume's extremely
Interjections,
rude
yeah.
interjection.
It's an economic
she was
question,
out of
please.
control
Senator
yesterday.
Hume.
She's been out of control all day today. But the point I'm making is that there is this disdain towards those jobs. They are good jobs, they are needed jobs, they needed to be paid properly, and this government has done exactly that. And we've created more market jobs as well, and you won't like this, Senator Bragg, more market jobs than any first-term government in recorded history. How does that sit with you?
Great. Well, I
not
mean,
very well,
small
I
business is
imagine, because
saying
it's not
Okay.
really the
Very
narrative
collapsing.
you're after, is it?
See
But
the
it's
insolvency
actually
figures?
the facts.
I'm going to